Hi and welcome to another video about the serverless framework. I have been on vacation, so that's why I haven't posted any new videos for a few weeks. But now I'm back and ready to do some more cloud magic. Before we continue, if you find my videos interesting and want to learn more about serverless and AWS, please consider subscribing to my channel and smash that bell icon to get notified when I publish more content. Now back to today's topic, which is all about lambda function roles using the serverless framework and serverless plugins. We are going to build on the project from the previous video, where we created an API gateway connected to two lambda functions, createBird and getBird. These lambda functions were quite simple. Neither actually made use of any database to query for bird objects or writing new bird objects. In this video, we will fix this. We will make our lambda functions connect to the Awesome Birds database. This means giving the lambda functions permissions to query and write to the database. This is where serverless plugins come in handy. Serverless plugins makes the serverless framework so much more powerful. If you discover any limitations with the framework, you can be pretty sure there is a plugin to address that issue. When it comes to IAM roles, you can write native CloudFormation syntax, but that's quite verbose. So here the serverless IAM roles per function plugin comes to the rescue. This plugin lets you create roles per function in a more serverless-friendly way. I'll provide a link in the description to the documentation. Here you can see several examples of how to implement it. So, to install this plugin, open your terminal, navigate to the project folder and write serverless plugin install -n serverless IAM roles per function with all dashes in between. And now hit enter. This generates a package.json file and installs the plugin in the node modules folder, where serverless will look for the plugin when deploying. If we later should install more plugins, they will also be listed in this package.json file. Now that the plugin is installed, we need to make use of it. First, we need to import the plugin in the serverless.yaml file. Just write plugins and define the IAM role plugin as a YAML list object. Now that the plugin is imported, we can implement custom IAM roles for both our lambda functions. In the createBird lambda config, write IAM role statements. Here we can define custom policies for our lambda function as a list. What this lambda function should have access to is quite self-explanatory. We want to have access to write to a DynamoDB table. To write a custom policy, we need to provide three fields: effect, action, and resource. Under effect, we write allow, since this policy should allow access. Under action, write DynamoDB :put item. And under resource, write the ARN of our DynamoDB table. This will grant the lambda function access to only write operations for a single DynamoDB table. Next, do the same thing for the getBird lambda, except write DynamoDB :getItem under action. Our lambda functions have now access to the DynamoDB table, but they still don't call the table. So I'm just gonna copy the code I have written in one of the previous videos, where I query the table to find an object, as well as the code to write bird objects to the DynamoDB table. As always, I'll link the code I'm writing in this video in the description below. All that's left to do is to deploy our application and test it. Now write serverless deploy in your terminal and wait for it to be done. I'll just copy the URL from the terminal output and open Postman. First, let's create a new bird object. Paste in the URL, set the HTTP method to post, and create a JSON request body containing bird information. Now hit send. And yay, success! The bird is now stored in our database. Let's see if we can retrieve that bird info with the get endpoint. Change the HTTP method to get and set the bird ID in the URL path. Now hit send. And yay, we got the bird object. So now we have learned how to install and make use of serverless plugins, as well as how to give our Lambda functions access to AWS resources using the serverless framework. In the next video, we will start creating other AWS services like DynamoDB tables using the serverless framework. Until next time, happy coding!